Can the MLB finally incorporate salary cap? Or are they already just set in their ways? Let's dive into it. What's going on, everybody? Javier Lopez here with JL3 Athletics. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the channel if you're having a blast here. So I think the MLB may have heard all the noise surrounding the MLB with the Dodgers winning the World Series last year. There's lots of comments going around, people talking, oh, they won because there's no salary cap, which is true, right? Now, the salary cap is, for those who don't know, if you're watching this, you probably know, but salary cap is the limit you have to spend on players, and you have to be able to organize and manage all of your players and money and get the best you can. That usually levels the playing field for all teams, right? If you have a lot of great players, you don't have a lot of extra space for role players, so to say. But if you can get a good amount of decent players, it's a lot. It's a lot. So you just got to be able to manage money, talent, personalities, a lot. You got to go through a lot. And so the Dodgers last year and I think this year too, have like some of the best players and the best personalities with zero salary cap. They just, here you go. So after they won last year, everyone's like, yeah, but you guys have no salary cap. And so it was like, interesting. Because I know the Yankees always had that same type of vibe since back in the day. Like back in the day. I don't know. It must still be the same. Because clearly nothing's changed. So I was reading this article and it popped up. So let's go ahead and give this article a read here. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'll put the link in the comments. So you guys, if you guys want to read it for yourselves, you can. It's pretty lengthy, so I'll just read a little bit of it. Let's go here. Analysis: MLB salary cap and floor proposals. MLB outlined its vision of grand bargain in a series of proposals made to the MLB Players Association over the past few weeks. It was an ongoing discussion. Are they going to want to do it, or the players used to getting paid all these amounts and not willing to take their cuts to have the teams that they've got? Under the latest proposal shared last Thursday, which focused on the reserve system, the vast majority of players would earn more money, reach free agency earlier, and play under a new economic system designed to address historical wide payroll disparity, which is one of the biggest frustrations among fans as it impacts competitive balance. Hence where all the comments and stuff are coming in about the Dodgers last year. And I think, like, I'm not a big Yankees fan, right? And I was never a big Yankees fan because they always had the best of the best, and it was kind of like an unfair playing field. And that's when I was younger, So now I'm older, I realized they didn't have a salary cap, and I guess all these teams never had a salary cap. It just didn't make any sense. It's New York City, it's the Big Apple. Everybody wants to go there. That's like the destination. New York is obviously, the New York Yankees is obviously like the heart of baseball when it first started with Babe Ruth and all the historical stuff that's happened. So it was just like a destination you wanted to make sure you ended up at. If you made it to the New York Yankees, you essentially made it, right? In baseball Hall of Fame, legends, and all those things. The trade-off is straightforward. Baseball's highest paid stars will surrender earning power at the very top of the market. That raises what I think is a central question of these negotiations as it pertains to the reserve system. Should the next CBA be optimized for the superstar who reaches free agency, or for the typical player whose career ends before arbitration? See, and it can go both ways, right? It can go both ways. You're a superstar, you want to get paid your pay, right? You're good. You pay me for what you're worth, right? All those things. And then you've got the players who are the role players, so to say, but they got to get paid too and live. Now, let's be honest. You're playing the sport you love to do and getting paid tons for it, whether it's $100,000 a year or $100 million for 3, 5, 7 years, whatever it is, right? You're getting paid. But it does in here later on go on to say that the baseball players do need to have a life after baseball. And I think personally, as you're getting paid, no matter what you're getting paid, be able to invest into a business or schooling or whatever else you're going to do to continue on, right? Or even build a program to coach and teach the new generation coming in. That's what I do. I don't play at this level, clearly, but I teach and coach and try to coach and teach them the right way. Can't talk. Excuse me. Because you just have people out there that do it just to help because they want to help the kids, right? But they don't understand a whole lot of little things that need to be learned. And then they have these players who have a lot of talent but weren't coached properly, so they don't really understand these things. So invest in something like that while you're getting paid while you're playing. That way, when it just ends, it doesn't just end. You still have a bunch of things going on. That's how I look at it. You know, how they do it is how they do it, is what it is. So, where was I at? Up here. The players' overall share of industry revenue is not likely to change dramatically, of course, if at all. Under MLB's proposal, it would remain a 50-50 split where it typically hovers. What changes is the reserve proposal is how the money is distributed over the course of a player's career. The proposal is a pivot. It focuses on the 98% and not the 2%. This century, baseball increasingly is a sport where value is created early, but compensation arrives late. Young players are producing more wins than ever before, while veterans continue receiving the disproportionate share of payroll. And that's just that's kind of like the evolution of sport, right? Not just baseball, every sport, right? WNBA sucked. Now it's getting better. NBA was in a place where it wasn't great. Then we had the Bird, Magic era, the Jordan era, and they brought it back. And now it's in another dive because it is what it is. WNBA sucked. It's going up. Baseball was coming down until the steroid era, and then brought everybody back, and now we're kind of where we're at. But each generation is changing. So the younger talent now is like I tell my son this. When I was growing up, I didn't have all these. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have these camps. We didn't have all these things. It's like you had a few weeks out of the year, like maybe 2 or 3 months out of the year, to prove what you had. And then you had to work on it the rest of the time off to come back to next year and hopefully perform better. And then go to state, regionals, nationals, World Series, all that stuff. Which I don't think they do anymore, at least not around here. Now it's club ball. Now you have year-round baseball. And so I'd always tell them, like, you have all these things, man. Dive into them. I never had that. We had to really grind it when no one was looking. And that's kind of how the old players are, is what I'm looking at here. And these new players coming in winning more, they had a lot more growing up to practice on. So they see the big leaguers, and now they're on YouTube. You can watch some things, and you can pick some coaching up here and there. And you got year round, right? You play year round, so you see what you're messing up on. You see you don't really have that rust to knock off after 7, 8 months of nothing of actual sport play, gameplay. Those reps aren't there. But now it's just they're so lasered in, they're so razor sharp, they're focused, they're good, a lot of talent. And so to me, that's why I think the younger ones are winning. And also, father time just it's undefeated. And as you get older, you get older. It is what it is. Yeah, that's life. Let's see here. Not sure. I think the disproportionate share of payroll. Uh, I don't know. As the new ones come up, their talent's probably better. Baseball is a very cutthroat sport. Even if you're a veteran and you're extremely good, but you have another person coming up that's younger, and his output is 100% more than what you're able to do, not what you are doing because that's your max. But someone's just outdoing you, they're like, okay, well, peace. It's a business, right? It's a sport, but it's also business. So, yes and no. Again, as an older person, older player, you get what your body gives you. That's about all I can say there. You get what your body can give you. The economic proposals taken together attempt to address the mismatch while also leveling the financial disparity in the game, allowing baseball a better opportunity to grow. Yes, I guess, even playing field across the board, you have all these teams in different states and they can grow better, like the A's, right? The Athletics, sorry. They've always been bad. And it's just like, nobody wants to go there. So now I guess if you have the salary cap, so superstars can be distributed all over, and you have to actually build a team. You've got to actually build your team. You got to grind at every position. Even if you're a role player, a superstar, the superstars got to teach the younger ones. You got to learn to mesh together. So you don't have just all superstars. So I can see that working in all the different states and teams that we got, because then these players, or I'm sorry, the fans, like for the A's example, they'll want to go see, right? They'll want to go watch them because, okay, we have some superstars and we have good role players and the team's getting better. And it's spread out all over, where it's lopsided, like, oh, it's the Dodgers, yeah, shocker. Yeah, it's the Yankees, yeah, shocker. Right, like I'm still shocked the Cubs are still doing good since 2016. So I can see how it would grow more excitement for the younger generation to come and watch and potentially be like, I want to play. I want to do that. I want to continue on. I have inspiration to grind harder, to go and want to play. So I can see that. The historic change. The headline item in the reserve proposal is allowing players to reach free agency earlier. In Thursday's proposal, MLB agreed to reduce the service time required to reach free agency to 5 years instead of 6 for players 30 and older. It's tied to the acceptance of a cap and floor system. Yes, like I'm saying, so 30 and older for baseball, for sports, for any sport, sorry, is old, right? You're considered unk, grandpa, whatever, right? You graduate college and you go and you get drafted, right? So you do right out of high school, you go to college also. You're 21, 22. You're young. You're full of energy. You don't get injured that fast. You can roll an ankle and be fine in 10 minutes. Like now, I'm about to be 38. I still play baseball. I still coach. But if I do a jog to first base without doing like a 30-minute stretch, I'm going to pull a hamstring. And guess what? I'm out for like 6 weeks. And that's how these guys are. I mean, obviously they're in better shape and they do these things, but that's the anatomy of your body. When you get older, you don't recover like you used to. You can't perform at the same level as you used to. Your testosterone's dropping down. Your estrogen levels are rising. It's just an anatomy thing, So being able to renegotiate stuff after 5 years instead of 6, sure. The 6-year standard has been in place since free agency itself was introduced in 1976. Wow. Okay. Getting a free agency a year earlier is a big deal. Player careers are short, 3 seasons on average. 1 season matters. It does. That's what I'm saying. Baseball is not just MLB. Like, you see these superstars are there and they've been there for a while, but it's not as simple as that. So we'll just take a team like the Diamondbacks, for example, and they have the minor league teams, AAA, AA, single A, all under them. That's who they were drafted by, and they send them here. And you know how big baseball teams are. They're all like that. So they can pick anyone if you're not doing well and drop you and swap, pick and swap, pick and swap. So that's what I'm saying. Careers are short because you're in the show, but then you're not performing. Or this guy in AA or AAA is doing a massive performance and you're not putting in the work like you used to. Swap, right? And then you know your egos can get hurt, or maybe you got injured. There's a whole bunch of things can just happen, and I can see why the careers are short. Like Chris Bryant. I don't know if anybody remembers who Chris Bryant was. When he was on the Cubs, it was him, Rizzo, Baez, and I can't think of his name, the pitcher. Anyways, that's when they won the World Series. Well, he's, I think, 33 or something like that. He's on the Rockies now. After they won the World Series, they all split for whatever reason. Good job, Cubs. He hasn't played in a while, but he's not retired. I read his article. He said that he's just not physically able to really walk anymore from all the intense stress he's put on his body with the workouts and trainings, all these things. And he's young, right? 30 to 35, something like that. I think it's 33. So he's not retired. He's still on the Rockies, but he can't walk. He says it's just immense pain to even stand. So that's why these things are short and trainings are getting different. And that's why you just got to make sure to take care of your body while you're young. So kids out there for watching this, when your parents say don't do that because you're going to feel it later, believe us, you will. Under the proposal, clubs would retain the ability to keep those 5-year players for one additional season by tendering a contract equal to the average salary of the game's 125 highest paid players, $22.25 million this season, creating form restricted free agency similar to other North American sports. MLB is also willing to eliminate the qualifying offer systems, another MLBPA objective. Reasonable people can debate whether this proposal strikes the proper balance, but the larger point shouldn't be overlooked. For decades, baseball's labor system delayed access to the open market. The proposal moves in the opposite direction, and it needs to. Players are debuting. I cannot pronounce it. Players are debuting later and spending fewer years in the major leagues. Over the last 40 years, average player in the I'm having a hard time reading. Age, telling you. Over the last 40 years, average player age is on the slow descent, declining by 0.7 years from the average of 28.6 years over the 1986 to 88 season to 27.9 years over the last 3 seasons. And that's just due to trying, to me, this is what I think. This is just due to the younger generation having access to all these year-round programs, and you're able to watch something on YouTube and get, okay, I can work on that, or I'm in club ball and I can go and practice and sharpen my skills year-round. So when they come into the league or in the show, excuse me, they have tons of skills. They're razor sharp. They're good to go, and it just puts the older ones out. But at the same time, all those years of stress on your body, and you're in the show, well, obviously you got to continue that, and you got to go harder. That way you don't get your spot taken. Your body decreases, right? It's just a never-ending cycle of push harder until your body gets. And now the younger generation is doing that, but their body's starting to take a hit harder, younger, because of year-round. There's a give and take to everything. Give and take to everything. You can be better because you're doing it year-round, but your body's slowly starting to break down. So when you get to major leagues and you get to a certain age, it's kind of done. And the older generation, like we had, just what we had, you're able to go longer when you got to the big leagues because your body wasn't as worn down yet. Okay. Player careers are being pinched at their beginnings and endings. This is also an argument for players locking in a 50% share of revenue. Enhanced player development practice and new tech extends now to the amateur level, which will only further pressure on the average age and career length of players. Exactly. Continue it on. Continue pressure. Continue abuse on the body. Moreover, teams today better understand aging curves, and free agency season at the age of 29 or 30 is substantially more valuable than one at 31, 32. Exactly. Because when you hit 29, 30, your body starts to hit a little weird shifting where you don't recover like you used to. Mine was 27, but nonetheless, because when you hit 31, 32, it's just like you hit a wall and then you're like, oh, okay, can't do that. I can't sneeze wrong. I can't sleep wrong. It's those type of things. The historic changes in acknowledgement that peak compensation increasingly lags when players' greatest on-field values occur. Who benefits? Most players and fans. The union argues that trickle-down economics work in MLB. Yes, elite players have functional as price settlers in the baseball labor market as their earnings influence the free agent, arbitration, and extension markets. But those trickle-down economics do not reach the largest cohort of players, the pre-arbitration players. They play at or near league minimum. I mean, league minimum, it's still a lot. It's still a lot. Not like what Shohei's getting, nothing like that. It's still great. I would love to do that again, but it is what it is. Consider that the average career length is 3 years, meaning the majority of players never reach their arbitration, let alone free agency. Each year, about 60% of players on the field are in their pre-arb years. Opening day, 50% of players this year were in the league minimum or near it. Then in season, the players who replace open day roster players due to injury or prospects who are promoted are almost always playing at or near the minimum that raises the overall contribution. In 2025, 52% of all service time days were tied to pre-arb players. And then this thing goes on and on and on and on and on. So if you want to hear, I'll link it in the description. And if you guys want to actually go in and read the whole thing, you can. But that's the gist of it. I think it would be great to have a salary cap, because you can distribute superpowers. I can't think of the word now. Anyways, yes, I think so. So you could put all these great players in different teams and build up and get that state involved and these other kids involved, and it would grow. It might be slow at first, maybe not. You never know, because right now, if it's on the dying end, you already see a thing of it on the dying end. At least this way, you have an opportunity for these other kids to come and bring more money to the city or the state, get more things put in place for the younger generation to learn more, grow more, and essentially make it more to the big leagues, more of them to the big leagues. And yeah, so it's possible. It is possible. I can see what they're looking at and see what they're going for. Now, will the players go for it? Will they want to take their massive cuts? I guess we'll wait and see. I'll see if I can keep a look at it and see any updates at any time. But anyways, that's the video for now. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, share the channel if you're having a blast. And I'm out. Peace.